Hey friends, Danielle Allen here, life coach and owner at One Foot Coaching, and I'm here with some real life coaching tips on how to put one foot forward in creating the life you love. Today, I want to talk about creating a life where you live on mission. As Christians, you and I both know that we are called to live on mission. But sometimes living on mission can feel like another thing on our to-do list, can it? And as I was reading recently, how do we find ways to incorporate living on mission in our everyday busy lives? That's what we need to know, right? Now, if you're anything like me, I have struggled with this myself. For years, I felt like living on mission meant I had to find my calling and my purpose and always live there. And yet, I think you and I are called to do more. And so, one of the things that has really spoken to me in recent months and days is the book of Acts. I was at a conference and the speakers were all speaking on the book of Acts, and I knew then that I wanted to study the book of Acts for our One Foot community. And so we're starting a Bible study, faith coaching Bible study on Monday, but in the meantime, I wanted to give you 3 tips from what I've learned from Acts on how to start incorporating living on mission in your everyday life instead of waiting for that final arrival destination. And so tip number 1, just like the early church fathers, our life on mission is an overflow of our own relationship with God. When Jesus left and was taken up to heaven, the first thing they did was gather together and spent time with God. And you and I can figure out what life on mission looks like only by spending time with Him. And so if you are not spending regular time with God, or you just need to amp that up, get a devotional, carve out some time in your schedule, block it off, and make sure you're connecting with God's heart before you try to live on mission. So tip number 2, is this idea of prevailing prayer. As I studied the book of Acts to write this study, I realized that they spent time in prayer. And as I studied the commentaries, all of them suggested this idea of prevailing prayer, that we don't just pray once and then go out and do things, but we continue to be in prayer. And in addition to hunkering down and spending time with God in that early church, waiting for the Spirit to come, each of them spent time in prayer together and on their own. And through that, God was able to speak and show them their life message, their life on mission. And so you and I as well need to start praying that God would reveal that life on mission, what that looks like today and tomorrow as we live in each moment. The third tip is really simple. One of the things I noticed is that every single one of those people in the early church listened to God. They listened for the Spirit. They did not resist the Spirit. But one of the things that I found interesting was the more they were obedient to what God was asking them to do, the more He spoke to them so clearly. And so often I think you and I go about our days and we don't listen for the Spirit. We don't listen for in the everyday moments of raising the kids and sitting in the carpool lane, or going to work, or being at the grocery store. How often do we hear God say, slow down long enough so that you can be a light, so that you can just be a little seed that can be planted here? I don't know about you, but I struggle with this so much. I get so lost in my tasks and my day that I forget to check in with God and ask Him, where are you already working, and how can I join you today? How can I find ways to live for you on mission today? And so those are the 3 tips. Spend time with the Lord. Spend time in prevailing prayer. Choose to listen to the Spirit and be obedient to what He says. Now, that's just the start. Obviously, we all want to find that purpose in our lives, and we all want to figure out a way to incorporate that life on mission purpose with our everyday lives of families and kids and work and all the other things and responsibilities you and I may have. And so this Saturday, that would be tomorrow, I'm hosting a group coaching workshop on living on mission, and we'll evaluate where we're at with living on mission, where we would like to go, and what our thoughts are that are preventing us from truly living on mission in our everyday lives. And so I'd love to have you join us 10 a.m. Saturday. I'll leave the link in the notes on this post so that you can go ahead and get more information and register for Saturday morning at 10. We'll see you then.